Hey guys, this is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. Hey, today we're going to talk about my favorite subject, which is sales. All right, we got a cool subject for ourselves today. It's a little bit different, so let me go ahead and dive right on into it. Give you a little fist bump, say howdy. All right, selling and going to church, why it works. What did he say? I said selling and going to church, why it works. Well, it works for me. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because, I go all over the place. I sell and I talk to lots and lots of people on a daily basis, either over the phone or in person, door to door, business to business. And I'm going to tell you what, I have noticed that a lot of people, they don't seem to be very happy. They don't smile a lot. A lot of times people just seem to live life in a way that seems like this full of drudgery. It's just, things are just piling up and it's hard. This world is a really rough place to live. And it kind of made me think, I was at church today, and look, I'm not your judge. I'm not telling you how to live your life. What I do is I like to share my own personal experiences and the things that help me to get through. I love to help people. I'm not your preacher. I'm your teacher of a sort. Our subject for today is selling and going to church, why it works. For me, selling is a pretty rough job. I mean, it's a lot of situations where, you can manipulate people or you can love people and treat people with the respect that they deserve. It's a numbers game. A lot of times people think that, when you get into sales, it's going to be kind of easy because they blow it up. They make it seem like it's real easy. And then what happens is that sometimes people get overwhelmed because they're not making money. And I've been there and I've done that. And one of the key things that I've learned is that I have to stick and stay. And I like to pray. It's like, man, I haven't always been like this, guys. I've been in sales, since the 80s in one form of capacity. I used to look at customers as dollar bills and as people as just a way to make money. As I've gotten a little bit older and more mature, I've found out that I ain't going to live forever. And one of the things I want to be able to do is leave a legacy, a positive legacy. And I want people out there to know that, hey, when you first get into sales, if you're a young person, if you're fortunate, you'll get to be an older salesperson and you'll touch the lives of many, many people. So it's very important how we treat our customers, because you might run into those customers in the movies, at the doctor's office, at the restaurant, at the place where you go to buy your groceries, and you want to leave them in a positive way. We're not manipulators. We are salespeople, and we are there to help them invest and buy things that benefits them. And in return, we get benefited. That's just the way it works. Selling and going to church, why it works? Well, for me, going to church gives me a chance to get a different perspective versus what the world is preaching about money. They tell you all these crazy ideas and crazy things and make it like all about you. But I've learned as a salesperson over the years, it's not always about me. It's about other people. It's how we embrace our brothers and sisters in this world. And anybody that's out there who's buying stuff from us, they need somebody that's going to be there for them in a positive way, not a negative way. Yeah, we work on commission, and that's the best way to make money, because you get to dictate how much money you're going to make. And I know this is a little weird subject in this regard, but see, I was just at church and I'm just looking around at people and stuff, and I notice a lot of people don't smile. It's like even in my gym where I go and work out, I see people that don't smile. And I'm thinking, I wonder what's going on in their minds. See, me, I smile a lot, but I ain't always smiling. Sometimes I get irritated, mad, angry, frustrated, lonely, sad, and all the above. But see, I try to live a life where if I smile, it means I want you, and I want to invite you into my life. I want you to feel comfortable. And it's a sincere smile. It's not one of them fake mask smiles. It's a real serious smile. And see, selling and going to church, why it works, you have to recharge your batteries. Now, when I go to church, I basically learn about Jesus. That's who I serve. You can serve whatever God you want to, but I know what I believe in. And in this regard, I need to learn. The more I learn how to be a better person, the better I can treat my brothers and sisters out there who are going to buy stuff. Because sometimes people are agitated, they're angry, they're frustrated, they've had some bad experience with salespeople, and I'm just going to be a little bit different. I'm going to let them get upset and be frustrated, get off my property, and just whatever. But see, I want when I leave them to say, well, I was kind of rude. Maybe that guy wasn't a bad guy. And then maybe leave an opening for another salesperson in the future. I love selling. I've been in it since the 80s in one form or capacity. I love the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the warts and all. And it means so much to me that I had to share this video. I know a lot of my videos are straight talking about selling and a lot of that. But see, salespeople, we have to have a little bit of downtime, refreshing time. You get a couple of days off here and there, and we need to kind of just relax, and we need to get other perspectives on how to help us to be a better person. A lot of times when salespeople, they think that when they watch the movies, how salespeople are manipulators, how they like to trick people into buying stuff or treat people rudely, do drugs and alcohol and party and do all kinds of crazy things. But there's a lot of salespeople like myself who go to church who are trying to be the best that they can be. They've lived a life. I've done all that weird stuff. I mean, I lived it when I was younger because I didn't really have anybody show me any different. But as I got a little bit more mature, I had a kid, and I brought my son up by myself since he was almost a month old, and he's almost he's almost in his 20s. He's a young man. But the key to success in this regard is I had to look at, well, what am I teaching my child? What am I teaching? What am I doing in my life? And I want to leave a legacy that's a positive legacy, And one of the things of selling, going to church, why it works, it makes me know that I'm not the only person in this world. We can be very self-centered people, because salespeople, we like to, especially the top salespeople, I've been called a prima donna before. It ain't a compliment. And sometimes I can act like I'm better than everybody else. And when I'm out there selling, I did it often when I was younger in sales because I was doing real good. But then I started looking at the people that were maybe not as talented as I am, and there's people way more talented in sales than I am. But I started looking at those people and thinking, well, how can I help them? How can I help these people become better in selling? How can I help them have a better life? But see, it took me to go through a lot of crap to get to that point. I did a lot of things that I'm not very proud of, and I'm being straight up honest with you. I'm still I'm a sinner. I do things sometimes, and still I'm not proud of, but I'm a work in progress. And selling, and why do I go to church and why it works, is because, see, I'm a work in progress. And if you're a work in progress, that means God can mold you and use you. You're going to have good days, bad days, and sad days, and days you want to cry, and some days you just want to quit selling. Maybe you just want to quit life in general and have these thoughts of suicide, or maybe you're frustrated with what life is giving you, and you expect and you think you should have more. God didn't give you the gift to be a salesperson for no reason at all. His gift to you is that, hey, you're going to be able to get up every day, go have conversations with people, and not take advantage of people, but offer your services in a way that they can see the features and the benefits, and they can outweigh the difference between giving you their money and benefiting in the process. My name is Gary Lee Stanley. I know a lot of times I come off as a character because I like to have fun. See, I like to wear my little smiley face buttons because a lot of people, they don't smile. And I'm one of them kind of people that wants to bring joy to the world. I want to bring joy to people in my life. I want to bring joy to my customers. And one of the things that I've learned is, because I go to church and I go to these different groups and I listen to a lot of people talk about their feelings, share their ups and downs, and they're having issues like tissues, they pop up all the time. And I go and listen. I started listening, and it's made me a better salesperson. And by listening to other people and talk about what's going on in their lives, I've shut my mouth and started listening more, and I'm able to listen to customers and have a selling conversation, and then not pressure them and not push them. And I'm very fortunate in this regard to have learned this. But I started learning this because I went to church. I started listening to the preacher, started listening to other people that were teaching me how to be a better man, how to love my neighbor. Those are those people you don't like, that ain't like you, that dress differently, that are weird, maybe from a different religion, maybe their sexual orientation. And see, the church that I go to is for us to love everybody. That's the way it is. A lot of times people put down Christians and say, we're very judgmental. Yeah, we're judgmental only to the point that we want to be awesome to everybody. And we don't want people to feel inferior just because they're not just like everybody else. I'm the kind of guy that's always been a little bit different. I've been on the outside looking in, even when I'm in church or if I'm in a men's group or things. We all have feelings. And sometimes we think that we're not important, but you know what? We really are. In God's eyes, I've learned that, I have my niche of people, those people that God's put me in their lives to be able to help. And so my whole goal today is to, let you know that, hey, listen, selling is more than just selling. Selling is a way of life. It's a career. But see, to have longevity in the career of selling, you've got to learn how to live a good life, a life that cares about not just yourself and not just for your family, but for others. Because I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. And the selling and success is to have a peace of mind. I want to be able to look in the mirror and say, hey, I did a good job. I don't want to look in the mirror and say I took advantage of people and then feel bad about it. So, selling and going to church, why it works, it's teaching me how to be a better man. And see, sometimes, like I said, you may be watching this going, I don't know about all this stuff, this God thing and all this stuff, but that's okay. We've pushed that out. We've got so much, it's all about me mentality. But, in reality, I had a friend of mine, he taught me, he says, Gary, it's not about you anymore. It's about other people and what you can do to help people in this world. And I'm thinking, wow, what a great subject, And people say all the time, I'm going to fake it till I make it. Well, why not pray it till you make it? Pray it till you make it. And if you don't know anything about God, that's up to you. But do your research because, see, God will call you. And he called me because I was really bad, man. I don't even want to say how bad I was. I just didn't care. I was wanting to have a good time, party like it was 1999. That's been a while ago, baby. But see, selling and going to church, why it works if you work it. People have spiritual programs, religious programs, and things like that. And they think that they don't want to go to church and stuff like that because people will judge them. Well, you know what? That's okay. There's, people that are in there, they've been judged and people judge you. And see, that's not God. God's not going to judge you in the sense that he's going to say, well, you're not worthy. He's going to help you to become the best that you can be. So, if you're thinking about going to church, please try it. If you don't like the one church that you're going to, try another church. There's got to be somewhere where you can fit in. Like I said, I serve Jesus. That's what I do. And because I've seen my whole life change, since I've been serving God and going to church, it's like I just feel that I have peace. Now, I ain't saying every day is a good day. Some days really suck. And to be a better salesperson, you have to go through those days where you fail. You have to go through those days that suck. How are you supposed to get better if everybody says yes, 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 yes? That ain't going to happen. My name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. Today, we've had a very simple conversation talking about selling and going to church and why it works. It works for me. And if you're feeling agitated, frustrated, maybe you're a drug addict, an alcoholic, there are programs like NA and AA, and there's churches, and most of those places where they have those programs, they're in churches. And the reason why they're in churches is because, see, God wants you to know that you're important and you matter. A lot of people don't even notice that. But see, I'm sharing this with you because, see, selling and going to church, why it works, it's because I've seen it work in my own life. I've seen it work in people's lives where it can take people who've done some terrible things and just turn them around to be the best that they can be for God and for people and for man. And we want to, love our brothers and sisters. And a brother and sister could be anybody that you talk to. I love you, a little fist bump to tell you, hey, you're important and you matter. Whether you like this video or not, I just hope that it gave you some insight on what's going on in my mind and selling and going to church, why it works. It works. So do me a favor, go out there and sell something. But if you ain't asking for the order, you ain't selling. Selling and going to church, why it works, it'll change your life, guys. You just got to give God a chance. Love you out there. Have a nice day. Go out there and sell something. Selling and going to church, why it works. All right.